Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. How we doing? Good morning, AB. How you doing? Steve, what's going on? It's Friday. Let's customize that down to Tuesday. Our beloved Tuesdays. All right, let's get all the alerts for the stream out. What's going on, El Supremo? How you doing? Ross, what's going on? Good morning. Got the right screen up. Beautiful. Tuesdays stink for data. That's why we don't really play them. And funny enough, Tuesday night going into Globex, when we're looking at Wednesday's Globex Open, or we're looking at the stats for Wednesday's Globex Open, those are also some of the worst. So it's very rarely that we get a good quality setup on a Tuesday to trade and have it be a win. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. What's going on? How you doing? Bear trap. Kind of looks like a little bear flag. What's going on, AO? How you doing? Make sure we got everything set up correctly. Good morning. Good morning. It's like a green day. Yes, absolutely. Is it hot in Maine as it is in Mass today? It is going to be 88 today. Let me double check. Had all my players complaining about wanting to wear shorts. No, I'm not kidding. I'm probably going to melt today. I have 87 with thunderstorms today. Wow. That's awesome. It's going to be the first actual day of summer. I'm excited. I'm excited. Get the stream link for this out in that. Sorry, I'm getting that announcements here. Beautiful. going on, Gobo? Gobot? Let's take a look at our data for today. Oh, I forgot to. That's what I forgot to do. I forgot to put the thumbnail on the video. Wish I didn't have to do that every time, but it is what it is. Make sure that people come and see the thumbnail. We don't have any significant data today, so we're looking at 10 o'clock home sales, and that is it for Tuesday. Tomorrow is going to be the bigger one. It's not FOMC with a rate hike or rate cut. It's just FOMC, but we will also be getting our first FOMC with a stand-in / no Fed chair. Powell is still technically in charge until the following Fed president is inaugurated, added into office. I believe it is Kevin Walsh, right? Who's the new Fed president? I think it's Kevin Walsh. Kevin Warsh, not Walsh. Kevin Warsh. So he was confirmed on May 13th. And let's see if he was sworn in. If he's sworn in, then tomorrow's his first meeting. Kevin Warsh was confirmed by the Senate to lead the Federal Reserve. Not yet sworn in. He will be sworn in as Federal Reserve Chair on Friday, and that is this Friday. This article was released May 18th, so the 22nd is when he's going to be sworn in. So this is technically the very, very last Fed president or Fed chair meeting with FOMC for Powell. This is the last one that he will ever do. He cannot go and restart his terms. He's done his 2, so he's all done. That will be Powell's last meeting ever. Then we have a new guy. Funny enough, and I want you guys to remember this, if you are still trading in the next however many years, take a look at how young he looks right now. This is Kevin Warsh. Take a look at how young this guy is, how young he looks. Probably mid-50s, right? Maybe late 40s to mid-50s. Come back in, I know this seems funny saying it, but come back in 5 years. Take a look at this screenshot compared to what he's going to look like in 5 years. So same thing when Powell was sworn in. And I know it was 10 years ago. This is what Powell used to look like. This is when he started his term as Fed president or Fed chair in 2016. And just the amount of stress that goes along with the job. This is what Powell looks like now. Obviously, he's going to age, yes, but this is a pretty rough 10 years. Pretty rough 10 years. Going over into our data today. Tuesdays suck. We're going to have Dan Cook on stream later today. We'll talk about Tuesdays the same we did last week. A lot of you guys liked having Dan on, which I'm glad to see. He will be on later today at 10 o'clock. He'll jump on. We'll do our little IB trade if we get an entry model for it. But keep in mind that Tuesdays suck. Tuesdays are terrible. We have very little that we can do about Tuesdays. I mean, the overall data, the overall entry model, the overall reward to a Tuesday is just not good all around. That is including Globex. That is including FOMC. That is including London session IB. That is including any time frame you could do the IB. That is if we have FOMC on a Tuesday, if we have CPI on a Tuesday. I don't know if we've had significant data points on a Tuesday, but if you guys have remembered or noticed from the past, really about 2 months, Tuesdays have really gone downhill. If I think I can refine it to this time frame. So I'm going to go to This is measuring from November 19th. So we'll go back 3 months. We'll go from July, 4 months, until we'll go to March 19th. And we'll take a look at that data. And the reason that I'm doing this, I want you guys to see how drastically Tuesdays have changed. So we used to have really, really solid data on Tuesday. This was actually the best day of the week to go and trade. And once this data pops up, this is what we used to deal with. 68%, and that might even be excluding some of the really big wins that we had. So if I even go back a little bit longer, and we'll cut this to February 19th instead. These are the stats we used to play for a Tuesday. And I don't know if you guys remember as well as I do, Tuesdays were automatic. Every time that we had a play on a Tuesday, every single time we'd come in on a Tuesday, we would have phenomenal results. Couldn't beat it. Now, fast forward, Tuesdays are atrocious. If we go back to just the regular past 6 months, we're almost at a 50-50%. So might as well flip a coin when the highs form first. Not only that, but when we go to the initial balance breakout and just look at Tuesdays for the weekday, by weekday, we have a 28% chance. This is the highest of any weekday. Monday, 16. Wednesday, 3%. So when Wednesday's IB forms, you know that it's not going to go and break the IB low. So any retracement on a Wednesday, you can definitely go a little more aggressive into. Thursday's pretty close. Friday's 12%. Tuesday is a whopping 28%. 7 out of the past 25 Tuesdays, we've had a double break on the IB. The good news is that we have a 0% chance on a Tuesday that there's no break. Looks like Thursdays are our most common. Thursday and Friday are our most common for having no breaks. Tuesday, we know the IB is going to break. Unfortunately, it's not a significant move or not a significant data point that we can go and play and say, okay, we can confidently expect this to move to the upside. We can confidently expect this to move to the downside. With these Tuesdays, there's no real reward to doing that. We have no inclination of, okay, is this going to go to the upside? Is this going to go to the downside? Are we anticipating a move higher? Are we anticipating a move lower based on the IBY rejection? If it forms the high first, we have no idea. If it forms the low first, that's ideally what we want to see. Now, going over to our other stats that we look at, I am going to have a bearish bias into open. We are also forming our new week opening range. So it's very unlikely that we go and pivot that new week opening range. When we form it, we typically have a continuation in that direction. Meaning, we form the high first. It's very similar to how the IB works. If you're trading the IB on a 15-minute time frame and the two 15-minute candles, the opening two 15-minute candles are red, that's just your opening candle continuation. It's very likely that the IB will proceed red. Friday was a pretty tricky one because we did have an opening candle continuation that was red, and then we inversed it right at 10 a.m., kind of stopped a lot of people out, formed a bullish IB, and then broke that IB at 1:15 in the afternoon. However, most cases, 9 times out of 10, I'd say, when even that first 15-minute candle, if that first 15-minute candle is directional, that is the direction that you will break on the IB. Really the first 30-minute candle, because that's the data report for the 30-minute opening candle continuation. So we can go to a 30-minute time frame. The color of that candle typically dictates which way the IB is going to break. Very rarely does it inverse that. And of course, as I said, that we've had 2 in the past week, but most of the time you can see green opening 30-minute. We have a bullish break on the IB, green, bullish break, green, bullish break, green, bullish break, green, bullish break. So most of the time, that opening candle continuation dictates the direction the IB is going to break. Same thing for the opening week range. If Monday is red, Tuesday will typically proceed red as well. For yesterday, we're taking a look at inside or outside days. right now we have an inside day. And what do I always say about dictating which way we're going to break on that inside day? All we do, very simple approach. Which one are we closer to? Go and mark out previous day's high, previous day's low. Previous day's high, 741.40. Previous day's low, 733.39. We are $2 away on SPY, so 20 points away from that previous day's low. Or we make a move to the upside of $6. So a 60-point move to the upside or a 20-point move to the downside. Same exact thing for Qs. We have about a $1.20 drop, so about 60 points to the downside, 50 points to the downside. Or we're going to have a $13 move to the upside. It's 40 points every dollar on NQ. So that would be a 400-point move to get $10, and then another 120. 520-point move to the upside, or are we going to make a 50-point drop? More likely that we just go and drop and continue the overall trend and continue to hit previous day's low. So that's what I'm going to be looking for directly into open. That's as simple as it gets for reading that report. That's it. Powell's rich. Powell is not rich. Powell is definitely not rich. I think he gets paid like $200,000 a year. So it's definitely good money, but how much does Powell get paid per year? $253,000. That is, in my eyes, not nearly enough to put on another 10 years in age. He aged 20 years over the past 10. When he started in 2016, he earned $190,000 a year, and then that increased as he came to the end of his term. He's definitely well off now, but you're getting paid $253,000 a year to manage and overlook the entire, essentially, global economy, because the U.S. does. We have the majority of wealth within the U.S., and he was overlooking the wealth within the U.S., so he's technically overlooking basically the entire global economy, I would argue. Pretty crazy, though. He's aged that much, that fast. What do I think Powell's net worth is? I think you can just look it up. What is Jerome Powell's net worth? How's my Grand Cup going? I tried trading silver yesterday. I have no idea why. I should have just kept trading NQ like I was. I took some losses on NQ. His total estimated net worth is between 20 and 55 million. That is because his family's inheritance was around 16.5 million. So that's where all his money came from. He did not make very much from working as the Fed, but he inherited 16.5 million. I tried trading. Oh, there's our. We might have an outside day. Hold on. We might not have a draw to the downside. I started trading silver because I got back last night and I went and checked the standings in the cup, and I got knocked out. I finished yesterday at 5,800, and I was in 960th place. And then I went to a baseball game. I came back. I'm gonna go and check what the standings are now. I think page 20 is like 10,000. Yeah, so to qualify, and this is crazy, to qualify, you have to have made the top 1,000 right now, $7,080, trading one mini on a 50K account. So I took a couple losses. I still ended the day up, and then I got back last night. And I was like, I'm just gonna take a quick trade on silver, and then it just spiraled out of control. But I think trying to catch up now is going to be incredibly difficult. We could see. We'll try. Really, all I wanted to do was get to the qualifiers, but I don't know if it's going to be easy enough. And I don't want to. It's fun trading that way. It's fun trading aggressively and going all or nothing on every trade, but it's not a concept or idea that I want to carry over to trading on the funded accounts. So I don't want. Last time I went in a bit of a rut after I traded that Grand Cut, and I think I finished in. I didn't get a cash prize last year, but I was pretty close to just getting the 151. I finished in like 2000th, which isn't very good. But I went on a rut after because I was in like a fight or flight ish mode. It looks like Wednesday's the new Tuesday. Absolutely, Wednesday's data is really good for the IB. I was in a fight or flight mode because every trade that I was doing for the Grant Cup last year, I was going in with crazy size. What place starts winning money? You have to finish top 1,000. So on a 50K account, you need to have 7,000 right now. Anyway, you need to have 7,000 in profit. 7,080, and that's only day 2. So by the time we get to Friday, which is when the qualifiers end, you're probably going to have over 12,000, 13,000 in profit. Regardless of your strategy, it's not an easy thing to do. For one mini, especially, your $7,000 profit with one mini is catching 350 points directionally. You know how ridiculous that is? So you need to let the trade, you need to catch collectively 350 points. You need to let the trade either run 350 points, or you need to just pay no attention, pay no mind to the trade. And you know what? That's it. That's your trade. You have your full TP, you have your stop loss set. Stop loss is probably a blown account, which you do get 3 resets, and they're only $29, but still, it's very difficult to catch that amount. Yesterday, there was a guy in 26K in profit, and I think he blew it because it's not there anymore. Let's see. No, he's still there. He doesn't have 26K anymore. He's in second place, though, at 24. He's still there. Razak was the one that was at 26K in profit yesterday, which is insane that people can acquire that much in such a short amount of time. And I'm sure they're trading silver and gold, and that's why I tried taking a few trades on it. I shouldn't have. It was dumb, but whatever. I don't know if they have a concept that goes along with it or a trading model that goes along with it, but for the most part, I think they probably got a little bit lucky on the 2-point silver move that we had. So it was 10,000 in profit there, but still making another 14,000 after that. It's ridiculous. Right now, the reason I haven't looked at the data too much is because we're riding the inside-outside bar right now. We're right at previous day's low. So the likelihood that we have a continuation below this it's 50-50 at this point. We can either have a 10-cent push down before open, or we could stay right where we are right now. Either way, we are going to take out previous day's low, regardless of the outside day or inside day. So we're going to have a pretty quick opening move. Yeah, even crazier, Luke, is that he did that on day one. He/she could be a girl too. They did that on day one. Crazy enough. Half day one. Yeah, really. Just Globex open on day one. And they were at 26,000 in profit, 24,000 in profit with one mini. But I do not want to. I left it. I didn't trade any more after I was at that 5,000 profit. I was like, this should be enough. This will probably get me into the qualifier. And then I got back and I needed to make another 2,000. I made 800 on the Globex IB for M&Q, and then I have no idea why I went and traded. I have no idea why I continued trading. But that's also, I think that's part of their marketing scheme with it. I can't confirm that or deny it because I have no idea what their overall intentions with the cup are, whether it's just genuinely fun. But I think it does set people into a mindset of tilting. Absolutely. I had 2.5K profit yesterday, feeling good, and then I saw 26K. I did the same thing. All right, we're open. We are looking at an inside day right now on QQQ. Inside versus outside days. We have an inside day at the moment. So our chance of having a push down to go and take previous day's low is about 88%. Go to inside bars, QQQ, actually all the way up to 91 because of yesterday's break. This is the best trend that we have right now in the market. Anytime price is opening within previous day's range, we have a 91% chance that it goes and breaks that previous day's range. And again, we're going to go and flash back a couple of months. When we were looking at February, the stat was down in the 70s. We were at 78%. So it still was a very good play, but it was along the lines of a single break for an IB. Now, these past 6 months, our overall trend is when we have these inside bars, we have a crazy potential for a break of the inside bar. The likelihood that we break out of that range is huge. And we have it rounded up to 92 even. Crazy divergence right now in SPY and Qs. Also, SPY did end up taking previous day's low yesterday. It just took a lot longer than it should have. We didn't break it until 11:30. QQQ broke it immediately, and now it's playing the opposite, playing hardball today. 100% it does. I think once it's over, the trading style they had trespasses to your trading, and it's lead to blown accounts and resets for a while. That's why I didn't take it too seriously. Yesterday, I mean, it was fun. It's fun trading that way. It's fun trading irresponsibly with no repercussions from it. Like, hey, I get to take this full 1 mini 2 minutes into open, which yesterday I did. I made like 800 within 2 minutes on 1 mini on those accounts or on that account. But it's because there's zero benefit to it. There's no risk reward, so you're not in any worry about the position. I still think we're going to come down and take 698.88. That's previous day's low at 245. This candle, I imagine, is going to have a nice reversal coming up here shortly. Or I could be completely wrong, and we end up going all the way up to 713.50. But going over the inside bars, there's more than enough time. There's ample time. If I'm incorrect about us going to take previous day's low, it's not like we're going to go and flash and hit previous day's high. We're still $10 away from it. There's more than enough time to go and change your bias and change what confluence you're using. So that if the IB sets bullish and we go and break that high, great. Keep in mind, and this is the perfect setup for a Tuesday, technically. IB by rejection for a Tuesday over the past 6 months. When the highs form first, 50-50. When the lows form first, 71%. Ideally, we do want to see the low form. Today could also be a reversion to the mean. We've been on such a crazy win streak. The last time that we stayed within previous day's range was 8 weeks ago. 8 days ago, sorry, not 8 weeks ago. I'm not just on a Tuesday. I'm on. Well, that was 3 weeks ago, at least. Still a long way to go. QQQ and SPY are in crazy divergence right now. Absolutely ridiculous on the divergence. Not even close. And Qs is still going, SPY is still going down. We're back to our regularly scheduled program of having some nasty divergence. Lovely. 705. I'm a little less inclined to target previous day's low now. Also, great example of why we don't trade that 15-minute open. Hopefully no one got burnt from trading this. Wald, are you in here? You in anything right now? Going for the gap fill? Hopefully not. Good. Yeah. Well, this is the huge reason why we don't trade the first 15-minute opening candle. Good. Thank you. Yeah, no reason to trade that opening 15-minute. This is exactly why, because your bias can be wrong. I don't think it's wrong. I still think we're going to go to previous day's low. It's less likely now with how fast we moved to the upside. This was a 200-point move. 200-point move in less than 15 minutes. 8 minutes right now. That's giving us a 100-point range on the IB, which is kind of cool. We'll be able to trade 2, maybe 1. And we're coming back down a little bit. SPY is going to go and hit previous day's low. We're going to do the opposite that we did yesterday. Yesterday morning, we hit previous day's low almost immediately. It was on SPY or Qs? Almost immediately on SPY, and then Qs didn't break it until 11:30. Probably the same exact thing. Good morning. What's going on, John Wayne? How you doing? I don't go live on Mondays. 30-year bond yields rocketing up too. I think NQ might join ES soon. You'd think. What Andre mentioned on stream yesterday, I don't know how many of you may have tuned into that. There is a 4% chance, 6 out of the past 250 trading days, or 4 out of the past 125. So the overall trend is a little bit more recently. And it makes sense because SPY and QQQ have been so diverged so badly. Look at that rejection too. This is the perfect example of why we don't trade that first 15-minute candle. And on the cup account, had I traded that, probably would have got torched too. So that's 200 points up in 10 minutes, 100 points right back down in 2 minutes. And that's also why you do not leave runners. Your runners just got torched as well. So to secure when you're happy with your profits. Holding 4 SPY and Qs, they've been so diverged that the recent trend has been having a diverged IB, diverged inside bars. Like if we go and look at SPY for inside bars, yes, 89% versus 91.5 on Qs. So it doesn't seem like much, but that's 65 days on Qs and 65 days out of 73. So we're missing 3 data points on SPY. 2, sorry. That's over the past 6 months. It's a pretty unfortunate trend to have. We got rejection all the way back down. What's going on, Rafshan? How you doing? Morning, Pavan. How you doing? Good morning, One Eye. It is, but it's like doing it all day, every day. Yeah, that another reason that I don't. It was fun keeping up with everyone. It's still fun. I'm not trying to make an excuse for not finishing in the top 1,000 if I don't. But you have to kind of be trading all day for the week. Or you have to capitalize on the moves that we have overnight that are directionally biased. So for today, you have to perfectly trade, catch the 200 points up, make $4,000, and then catch this 150 point drop right back to the downside and capitalize on another 3,000. And that just puts you in 1,000th place. And then by the end of the week, you have to continue doing that. And I know saying it seems simple, saying that, catching this move down, catching the move right back up seems simple enough, but that's also hindsight trading and perfectly catching every single move. What's the 30 you're up to now? I don't remember what the ticker is for it. What's the 30-year ticker? Is it just US 30? People will blow up by Friday. I don't think so. Anyone that's in the top 1,000, this is why it's going to continuously move to the upside. There's 28,000 people that are participating in it. Getting up to, let's say, your top 1,000. Once you get into the top 1,000, and I'm sure most of the people are doing what I did, like Kitten Trade, if she's in here, she's in 900th place right now. Turret Buddy's in 700th place. After you reach that profit, you don't trade, and then you wait until you either get knocked out of the top 1,000 or you wait for another quality setup and push yourself up a little bit more. But anyone that's in the top 1,000 right now is not trading. Like those top 2 spots, they're probably jokingly competing with each other, but there's no way that anyone's going to catch up to them at 23,000. The remaining people that are in the top 1,000 don't trade. Top 10's not trading. It's the same for the top 1,000 too. Top 1,000, yes, it goes like this with any leaderboard type deal. People don't go that aggressive when they're in the winning bracket, and then they wait for other people to catch up to them, which they will. We'll have probably another 1,000-point move this week, and they'll take 10,000, 12,000 in profit. I cannot believe that we just came all the way back down and we're now retesting that low. That's a 400-point move so far into the open, by the way. We go down to the 1 minute time frame. Our open for today, New York Sessions open, was 28,843. We went up and hit 29.69, so 220 points. 29.69 all the way back down to 28,865. So 420 points, and we're now making a 100-point 1 minute candle as I speak. That is on the dot 100 points in 1 minute at 9:47 with no news. The movement is there, but you have to be correct with what direction you're going to. We just had our bounce off previous day's low. That's probably why. Scratch that. It did not move off of nothing. This is the same bounce we had yesterday, actually. Same exact one. When we hit previous day's low yesterday on SPY, we had a $2.50 recovery, so 25 points, and that translated over to 180 points on QQQ. And that's very similar to what we just did. We moved up 100 points and $1 this time. Inside bar stat successfully hit for SPY. SPY inside bars, 89%. So this will now go to 60. Let's see when the last one was, because that might be at the end of the 6 month time frame. Right now we're looking at November 19th. So yeah, so we'll stay at 65 out of 73. So the stat will not change at all tomorrow. We're losing one, but we're gaining one over the past 6 months. So this will remain the same. I'm sure QQQ will be the same as well. Same exact thing that we did yesterday, identical to yesterday so far. Do people trade IB retest after breakouts? Yes, absolutely. I was just talking about that, actually. If we go to Wednesdays, it's not Tuesdays. It's not something that you want to do for the retest, because Tuesdays, if you go to IB by rejection, IB by weekday, Tuesdays have a 28% chance. So 1 out of every 4 Tuesdays, 7 out of 25 is going to have a double break, meaning that you would not want to play a retest today because you only have a 72% chance that price does not go and break the low. For a Wednesday, though, that's definitely a strategy that you would want to take advantage of on a Wednesday. Wednesday has a 1 out of 26 data point that we have a double break, meaning that 92% of the time on Wednesdays, when price breaks that IB to the high or low, if we go to last Wednesday, for example, when you break the high or low, even retesting down into 5% of the IB or hitting IB high again, that is probably the best entry you're going to get. So it's saying that Wednesdays are extremely directional. Extremely directional. So it's a trade that you'd want to do on there. Not on a Tuesday, though. When you break the IB, you can go into the initial balance by retracement report, and you can see that for just any weekday, these are your odds of continuing back into the IB. So on the 20% retracement, you have a 63% chance when it's a breakout. If it's a breakdown, you have a 76% chance that price comes back and hits 25% of the IB. Yesterday, we did not have any of them hit. Yesterday, the IB broke at 10:30 on the dot, 10:31, and we never retested, never went back into the IB. Friday's a pretty bad example of how you would lose very badly on this strategy. I don't play it personally. I know a lot of people that have enjoyed playing it, but the reason I don't is because there's no data point that says after you retrace to 25%, 30%, 50%, whatever percentage of the IB, there's no data point that states you're going to break the IB high again or IB low again. So if we break the IB high like we did on Friday and I take an entry at 25% of the retracement and I put my stop loss at the IB low, there's no stat that says after you hit 25% for a retracement, you're going to hit the IB high. The IB itself is the most significant data point that we have because that's what's stating that we have either a single break or a double break. We have a 96% chance of breaking the IB. There's a 78% chance that IB breaks one side. There's a 16% chance that it breaks both directions. This is for any weekday. So on any given weekday, we have a 96% chance that price does not stay within this range. Very similar to how inside bars work. So it's arguably just an inside bar for the hourly time frame, a 60-minute time frame. However, there's no indication on once you retrace which side of the IB you're going to break. Are you going to go to the upside? Are you going to go to the downside? Are you going to hang on to the IB? Are you going to fail? Are you going to continue in that direction? There's no indication on that. So there's no reason for us to try and trade it. M2K has a 92% no double break on Tuesday if we break out first, just saying. QQQ has a 28% chance that we have a double break today, which is pretty high. 25% is a popular retest level after breakout of the IB. Depends on whether you consider a wick or a candle close. It just has to wick to it, same as breaking the IB directionally. There's no, for all these stats, just so everyone knows, for almost every single stat on edgeful, there is no measure for having a breakout that needs to have a candle close. Every single measure on edgeful just has to see a wick or price hit that level. That's it. So for the IB, all you have to do, and this is the same for any level, inside bars, outside days, the 15-minute orb retest, 15-minute orb breakout, the only thing that price has to do is hit that level. That's it. It doesn't have to have a candle close over it. It doesn't have to have a 5-minute, 15-minute, 1-minute close and confirmation. All it has to do is have price wick to it. So on some days, you will quite literally wick to the cent of that IB. So if the IB high on Friday was 712.67, if you hit 712.68, it has to be greater than. It cannot be greater than or equal to or less than or equal to. It either has to be less than or greater than, and that is just by 1 penny. So if the high is 712.67, it has to go and break 712.68. That's the level it has to hit. For today, our previous day's low is at 698.88. We have to hit 698.87 for that to validate that stat. If it hits the same level, it does not count. It has to hit 1 cent, and there's no confirmation based on a close. So there's no breakout or breakdown involved with the candle has to hit this level and hold that level for X amount of time. I thought you could change that, though, if you wanted to filter. You might be able to. What's going on, Caleb? You might be able to. Smooth operator. I know that for every report that's on here that has its custom settings available, you might be able to do a breakout or filter how you want to break out. Like it needs to close over with a specific time frame for every standard report. So the default settings on all these reports, it just needs to hit the 1 cent beyond that level. It just needs to wick to it. Does not need to hold it. Doesn't need to have a continuation through. It just needs to hit that level, and that's it. So 5 minutes bar coding, pretty bad. We did just make a new high on SPY as well. Same exact thing we did yesterday. identical to yesterday's price action right now. QQQ is getting a little weaker. Smooth operator. So you said I'm talking about if I wanted to play the retracement into the IB after the breakout, I'd want to see how far it retraces into a 5-minute close outside of the IB. There's no data measure for that, unfortunately. The IBRI retracement stats, everything that edgeful has is based on where price goes to. It does not have a measure. There's no way to customize. You want to hold out. There is a holdout period on the edgeful algo optimizer. You can hold out, but this is not available on any of the edgeful reports. There's no holdout feature. So for holdout features, if you guys didn't know, I just learned this yesterday, so I'll share the data. You can train your algorithm for 80% of the time before you go and take the remaining 20%. So optimizer sees only the first 80% of dates. The remaining 20% is held back to test if the edge generalizes. That's the holdout period, which is similar to what you're asking. If you can wait for a 5-minute candle, 15-minute candle to see what the retracement does. But on these data reports, there's no option to do that. All the reports are based on just wicking to a level. This needs to break it by 1 cent. Can you please go over the new IB close zone report? Absolutely. So I was going to wait for Dan to get on here for this. We still can. We'll customize it later. But if we go to, I got to find where Andre put it. He sent me a screenshot of it yesterday. I was very excited to see. But what we added, what he added, what edgeful added, is you can now look at the stats for what zone the IB closed in. Let's give it a minute because Dan's going to be on here at 10. I'm going to send him the link to join right now. Dan's going to be on here at 10, and we can go over that collectively because he's going to benefit significantly on that as well. So let me send him the DM right now. For anyone that doesn't know what I mean, for anyone in here that trades the IB25, IB50, IB75, 100% of the IB, whatever you're trading for the IB breakout zone, you can refine it down to the odds on having a break or what the odds are if you close within 25% to 0% of the IB that you have a continuation. I'm trying to find where he put it. He put it in, if I can find the report, IB ending zone. Okay. Now I just need to find it. There we go. Right in front of my face. What am I doing? So IB by rejection, and we're going to look at a Tuesday for this. We're going to look at QQQ. IB by rejection for a Tuesday. You go into customize, go into custom report, IB ending zone. You can now highlight. So if you want to see what the odds are that the IB closes within 25% of the IB. So IB 50 for today's instance, go into this report. You can double check which one is the 25 and which one's the 50. So we obviously have the 50 that doesn't change regardless. You can go in here and highlight the 25, and that tells you that 25% of the IB is to the upside when it's a bullish IB. If it's a bearish IB, 25% just switches with 75%. But anyway, for today's example, we're closing between 50 and 75. Not saying that we're going to at the moment, just saying as a hypothetical. Let's say that we close within 50 and 75. We can go over to the edgeful report. We can go to 50 to 74.99. So that is showing us the odds are the stats for when price closes within this range right here. So if you have the IB closure at 1030 and the price is between 50% and 75%, these are your odds, and it's a new report, so it's not going to have too many data points for it. When the IB high forms first, you're indicating a break to the downside, and price closes within 50 to 75% of the IB. It's happened 2 times. Both times have actually invalidated the IB and broken the high. Meaning that when you have the IB as a bearish move, so we open, price goes and hits the IB high and then forms the low second. You're indicating a break of the low first. And then we can go and draw in our 25%. Since it's a bearish IB, 25% would be the downside. We're focusing on the upside break. Price came all the way back up and closed within these two, within this zone right here. So when price closes within 75% to 50% of the IB, that zone, it's over the midpoint, but it's under 75%. Both times that that's happened on a Tuesday, it's broken the high first, so it's invalidated the IB. I think it's a really freaking cool report to have added on. It's going to help significantly with fake outs. It's going to help significantly with not having any losses or any significant losses with the IB. I'm very excited for it. I think it's refined down a little too much if we go to weekdays, but if we go to all days, all weekdays, what happens when the IB closes within 50 to 70%? We can see that when the high forms first, you're indicating a breakout to the downside. The high forms first, you're anticipating that low is going to break first. If price opens over the midpoint and underneath 75%, there's only a 42% chance. Actually, there's only a 28% chance that price breaks in the direction that you're anticipating. So when the high form first, you're anticipating a low break, but if price closes within 50 to 75%, there's a 42% chance that price goes and breaks the high, 28% chance that price goes and breaks the low. And this also indicates that there's a 30% chance that that day is not going to have a break of the IB. This report is saying the best way to use this report is that you really just want to trade the IB if the low forms first. So you're anticipating a break of the high. And price comes and closes. So we have the low form first, the high form second, and price comes and closes within this range at 1030. This is telling us that if the low forms first, you can still play the IB respectively. If the high forms first, you probably don't want to play the IB, because that means it's going to break in the wrong direction. And if we can refine it to any of those sections. So if the price closes within 75 to 100%, there's a 50-50 chance that price will break the right direction. If the lows form first, there's a 66% chance that price will continue and go and break the high. So if we go back over to QQQ, we have the high form first, low form second. We'd be anticipating the low to break, and then price somehow pivots all the way back up in this zone and closes over 75%. There's a very good chance price goes and continues to the high. And it says that it is 2 out of 3. It's only happened 3 times, but 2 out of 3 times it broke the correct level and broken the high direction. It depends on 75% and 25% smooth operator depends on which side of the IB forms first. So for today, because we had the high form first, and you can go, if you don't know, if you're unsure, go into the initial balance breakout indicator, the settings, and unhighlight one of them. So right now I only have the 75% active. Because the high form first and the low form second, 75% of the IB has now been switched to the downside. But if we go into replay mode, You can see that 75% when it's a bullish IB, and you just select a better candle than that. If it's a bullish IB, so we don't have the low form first, 75% should switch to the upside, and it did not. I think the indicator is still reading based on what's actively happening. It depends on what direction of the IB forms first. So if it's a bearish IB, 75% is the upside. If it's a bullish IB, 75% is the downside. Or vice versa. I might have said that backwards. So why isn't there more backed data? It's a new report, but this also shows that when you have the IB closing in these zones over the past 6 months, there's not very much data for it. So when the IB closes in 0 to 25% of the IB, that's happened a lot more times. And you can see the IB usually breaks. That's the direction that you usually want to break. And this also validates what your question just was, Smooth Operator. I think the indicator is a little busted right now because I went to replay mode, but we formed a new low. 0 to 25% of the IB for today, 0% is the low that we formed first. I think I measured it backwards. So it should look like this. 25% of the IB for today is going to be this range right here. And this is showing us that when price closes within that range, it's 90% likely that it's going to break the correct level of the IB, which I think is why it validates the IB 25, yes. So if it closes within this zone, this bottom zone, there's a 90% chance it goes and breaks the correct level. That zone right there. And that it's just a very strong level when we go and hit that 0 to 25% ending zone. We have plenty of data points for it. When the IB low form first and we close within that zone, the only issue is it doesn't indicate that you're not going to break outside of that zone. Also, we have the IB lined up right now, so we can and probably will go and take it to the correct direction. QQQ and SPY diverging. They're lined up now. We have the low form first on SPY. Low form second, sorry. High form first. High form first on both. So we're good to go and take the correct level. We also just broke the inside bar to the downside. We have another 20 minutes for the IB though. So don't be too aggressive quite yet. Oh, there he is. How long ago did you join? I'm sorry.
It's all right. I've been singing for about 45 minutes, something like that.
You're kidding. 45 minutes?
No, I'm only joking. It's about 5 minutes, something like that.
Oh, sorry about that. I was on a rant about the new stat that we added.
I caught a bit of your conversation there.
So that just validates
talking about the IB 25.
Your IB 25. You can go into your custom report on Edgeful now for the IB by rejection. IB ending zone, and you can refine it to any of the percentages.
Oh, that's cool. Because it was just before it was just above midpoint, below midpoint, right?
Yes. We had Andre and I had a talk after stream. I think might have been last Thursday. Okay. Also, did your algo just take a put? That sounded like the same noise that I hear from James.
Let's have a look. No, my algo's not taken a trade today. Just as well, because the 5 minute, because I'm on the MES algo and 5 minute orb, and it's just chop. on that 5 minute orb. So I think if it did enter a trade, it would have lost. I'm just looking now why, because it'll be one of my settings. Like I avoided a trade last Friday because it didn't take it. That's why I've got no trade breakout on a Tuesday, but I do have a breakdown on a Tuesday. That's interesting. Then why I didn't enter today? That's quite interesting. I wonder if it's because it broke out of the 5 minute range first, didn't take the trade, and then it just counts it then as like a no trade day.
They were diverged too.
Yeah.
The two IVs.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah, but no. It was a sad day yesterday on the algo for me. After a 10 trade winning streak, it did come to a very sad end and lost yesterday. The algo.
It was due for it. Funny enough, for your algo, I don't know if you can put this parameter in. Yesterday we had divergence on SPY and Q, so that might be part of the reason it lost.
Yeah, I don't know if you can put that. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't pretty yesterday. I didn't manually trade yesterday just because it was just very, like you said, very, very divergent. The VWAP for me was really flat and choppy. It felt like it could have gone either way. It was similar to a trade I avoided last week where it was very choppy with the VWAP. I should have got an IB25, but I didn't take it because it was choppy and it would have lost like immediately. It would have whipped my IB25 and then literally dropped on me. Well, yesterday it took my IB25 and then went to profit. So I suppose it's kind of like you got to take the rough with the smooth, haven't you? When you're being selective, it's like some days you're gonna dodge a bullet and some days you're gonna miss a win. But yeah, it's one of those. I'm okay with it.
If you'd like to, you can pull up your screen if you have any trades you want to review on there.
Yeah, let me just so just bear with me.
No worries. I will be looking to take a short today, and we can actually use that new report we have. So if price closes within 0 to 24%, 24.99, then we have a very significant chance that price goes in. It's 90% for both stats with more than enough data points. Only two times, this further validates your IB25, only 2 times when price closes within that range does price go and break the incorrect level. So you could have a massive risk reward benefit to that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Like it just shows how profitable the negative risk reward would be if it breaks in the correct level.
And that's using the customization. I need to get stuck into this. I need to have a good evening and doing it. Having a look at
it. You go to the initial balance breakout report.
Yeah. And
then go into custom report. Sub report. IB by rejection. I have a bookmark so you don't have to keep going back through that. You can go to the top over here and you can add it to a bookmark. Save as new template, or just bookmark the report up here in the top right. And then once you're in there, you can go into a further customization for the IB by rejection, and that's when you get the IB ending zones. That's where I customize it by weekday. So if we're looking at Tuesday for today and we see price close within that range, once it loads, so we know that if price closes within 0 to 25% of the IB, we have an 80% chance on a Tuesday when the highs form first that price will go and break the low. And that is 9 data points, 8 of those. So this could make Tuesdays great again.
Yeah. I mean, it couldn't get much worse, could it? I mean, for the first half of 2026 anyway.
It could make it much better. I saw your screen there for a second. It's gone now.
Hold on. Let me just share. Okay, I'm showing it now. So let me just first of all show yesterday's.
Look at that total P&L. 105.
Oh yeah. But let me just show like yesterday. So yesterday that was like the kind of the point where I was like, right, do I enter? Do I not? And it was just very, very flat. And I just felt like it could have just gone either way. It could have gone higher, could have gone lower. We did have the previous session low below as well, though. And that, according to edgeful, had really good odds, to be fair, for yesterday. But it was just one of those where the candles were huge yesterday. Like, they were huge.
Today too.
Yeah, and for me, it was a Monday. It's choppy, and I wanted to stay out of it. And let me show the Monday before, because I think it's the Monday before. That was the state of play on Monday last week, and you can see once again it's choppy, candles closing on both sides of it, and then that's how it would have played out. It just would have just dropped. It would have wicked me on the IB25 and then just dropped. So it was just one of those where, I avoided one. Lost last Monday, missed a winner yesterday, but like I said, I'm happy with that. I mean, I'm trading a negative R strategy anyway. So for me, missing a loss and missing a win is going to work out better for me anyway. Yep. So that's where I'm at the moment. But yeah, I mean, those probabilities, 80% you just said right now. Let me share my chart.
While you're doing that, how you said last week you would have had a link to edgeful with your trading plan and rules to view. Is it posted yet? Not yet, Murray. We're working on that in the back end.
Right, here we go.
There you go.
Not logged in, actually.
I'll remove that for a second. If you want to log in.
There we go. I'm in.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm liking this at the moment, though.
Yeah, I am liking short
session low. Yeah,
we have a very slim chance of a continuation back up. Very likely that we have a continuation to the downside.
Yep. I'm liking this. I always get look at that. One might hold on, that's strange. Let me try that again.
This is a massive range today, though.
I was gonna say it's huge. Yeah, that is huge. Wow.
This goes back to what I was saying this morning with that Tradified Cup. If you're trying to catch every single move, it's going to be pretty difficult not to translate that over to your funded accounts.
Are you doing that? Are you doing the Tradified Cup?
I'm trying to get just top 1,000. I was at 5,800 in profit yesterday, which is crazy for a 150K account.
Yeah.
And then I got back from a baseball game, and I was at 930, and I got back and top thousands, now 7,000 in profit. So I tried chasing it. I took a silver trade and ended up screwing myself over. Okay.
So
I'm playing
catch up. I'm gonna put a sell limit order here now. Sorry to interrupt you at the IB25. So we'll wait to see now if that pops back up there at the moment now.
So with your front run parameters, you're fine with going in 10 minutes early like this?
Correct.
Awesome.
Yeah. For me, no earlier than 10 minutes before, usually.
Very good.
But 10 minutes, I'm happy to do that. It's one of those though, because of where the VWAP actually is. There is a chance that, and I have to accept this, that it may come up here first, touch the IB50 or test the New York VWAP, and then come lower for me. That may happen, possibly, potentially. But this is why I have to be on the ball as well, though, because now the IB25 has moved. Got to just wiggle it out, just adjust it just a little bit more there. That's why I just have to keep an eye on it, because I am obviously front running it. The IB25 is going to change and adapt and evolve as it goes here. But I'm still happy with that trade at the moment.
I did the same thing. Same type of thing. I don't know which happened.
Are you looking for IB25 or are you looking for or are you going to wait for IB50?
I'm looking for the IB50. I'll probably take it at the IB25. I don't know what just happened to my computer there.
Did you take a trade yesterday?
I did not. They were diverged yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Is that like a hard rule for you? If they diverge, it's like, no, stay out. Oh, I think you've lost volume. Oh, things gone. Just me. So at the moment, I mean, this is actually a huge range. I can't remember the last time I put on one contract with a $400 risk. I literally cannot remember the last time. This is absolutely massive range at the moment. The thing is the more we sort of come down here, for me, it's a bit sort of like the VWAP for me is quite high here at the moment. So I don't love it. For me, I would prefer it if the VWAP was like about here, below the IB50. But because it's above it at the moment, I'm not too sure at the moment with this. This is just a massive range for me. I mean, if we take a look at ES as well, what we're doing on that as well. Let's have a look. Yeah, ES, to be fair, ES is pretty aligned as well here. So it's just one of those at the moment where, I mean, you got to admit those probabilities, those statistics from Zinc, 80% if we close within the IB25, pretty good. But we may not at the moment still, because I am front running it at the moment, so it may actually not close in the IB25, range. So we'll have to just wait and see there on that at the moment. Someone asked, Dan, can you make a video about your journal? The TradeZella journal. Yeah, that's actually not a bad idea, to be fair. But I think a well-organized journal is absolutely crucial for you to be able to go back to, for you to be able to go and see your trades easily. I mean, my journal is just simplified over the years in terms of how I actually use it. Which is great. That's what you should be doing. Not only just my trading strategy has simplified over the last year or two, but actually my journal as well. You'll just find with everything you do with trading, you just simplify everything as you go along. Zinc.
My computer crashed.
Get back.
My screen went black. I thought I was gonna get a little blue screen of death there for a second. Scary.
You've not missed too much. We just keep moving lower. Just keep moving lower at the moment.
Anyway, the point I was going to make was adjusting it with the 25. That's why I do the same thing with the 50, and you put a limit order, and then you have to keep dragging it as it goes lower.
Yeah.
What I was going to add in, did you get filled, by the way?
No.
What I was going to add in, let me get my screen back up. I'm not going to steal it from you. You can leave yours on. The question I saw before I dipped out, do you enter at 50 or 75% of the IB? I try to enter at 50%. That is what I found is the best way to mix risk reward with positive win rate. Negative risk reward on the IB is okay because you're looking at a much higher win rate, and this all goes along with profit factor. That's the only stat that you look at on your trading. If you're getting filled at, my screen is back up. If you're getting filled at 75% of the IB, let's say your risk reward is no longer 1-to-1, your risk reward's almost 3-to-1, like 2.7 to 1, 3 to 1. The higher you enter and the higher your risk reward is. So if you're going to the IB by rejection, the higher your risk reward is, the lower your win rate is, and vice versa. The lower your risk reward is, even negatives, the higher your win rate is going to be. So if it closes within 0 to 25%, which is what Dan's looking for right now, you're looking at like a 90% win rate, 80 to 90% win rate. But the days that you do lose, it's a negative risk reward, so it eats at some of the days that you would have had profit on. But for everyone that has been in the Twitter space or FinTwit space, and you go and see people that, I don't know why this was kind of normalized. I don't know if you have the same thought on this as I do. I know Andre does. 3R, 4R trades, which is what ICT concepts and most of the people that use ICT concepts push, is not something that happens very often at all. It happens very rarely, actually. So if you're taking a trade that you're expecting to have 4R, it's going to have a much higher losing rate. So you're going to lose 4, 5, 6 of those trades. And then the trade that you do hit, because the risk reward is so high, it either puts you back at break even or you need to hit 2 of them in a row to start profiting from that model. Whereas Dan just needs it at 25% and he only loses 10% of the time with what these stats are showing us. 10 to 20% of the time.
Yeah, gotta love that.
Looks like you're about to get filled, so I'll pull your screen back up.
Yeah. I'd love it. I was just saying before, I'd love it for the VWAP just to be a little bit lower. Just a little bit lower. It's coming lower, which is great. That's exactly what I want to see. But I'm liking this at the moment. Like for me, if I'm not, this is my trade. You know, it's one of those where, you know, but for me, sellers are in control here. We've had the majority of candles closing below the VWAP for the session, especially the last half an hour of the session. You know,
absolutely
be crazy looking for buys here at the moment. So for me, this is it's my trade. I've got to take it. If we get a close above the VWAP around about here, I'll close it, take the loss. Like I told you last time, I don't want to jinx myself, but I am well overdue a loss. It's been a while since I took a loss, so it's gonna, you know, if it's gonna be any day, why not Tuesday?
Why not Tuesday when the highs form first?
Yeah,
it doesn't change too much when you look at the. I mean, you're still not looking at that many data points, but closing between 25 and 50% for a Tuesday. I don't know what it is about Tuesday that makes them so bad, but even closing under the midpoint when the highs form first, it kind of throws a wrench in the works.
Well, we're 2 minutes away, aren't we?
Said Dan, but YM is so bullish. What about that, my guy? I don't know if you're the same as me. I couldn't care less what YM's doing.
Yeah, I keep an eye on it. I wouldn't say I put too much weight on it. I keep an eye on it because I found that if I'm using all three indices for confluence, and if I'm saying, oh, I'll only enter if all three are bearish or if all three are bullish, I just found when I was backtesting that I was just missing so many opportunities. Yeah. I'm actually missing a lot of winners as well. So for me, it's just a case of, you know, there's the danger always that you're going to end up over filtering. You know, you're going to end up just kind of filtering out too much. So you've got to be careful. I think whenever you're building a strategy, you've got to be careful of how many confluences you throw into what you do and how many filters you have, because it'll feel good when you first put the filter in, because maybe the filter will work and you miss a loser. But I found you miss too many winners for your edge to be an edge, and eventually you'll end up diluting your edge.
I stumbled into that a little bit trying to. I think I'm pretty happy with having them needing to be diverged or needing to be lined up, not being diverged.
Yeah.
But I did over dilute it ever so slightly with some of the rules I was putting in place, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that I'm much more confident with the ones that do hit. Yeah. So we did close for our new data point. We closed within 0 to 25% of the IB, so we have a 90% chance today that price will go and take the low on both SPY and Qs.
No, don't go lower. Don't go lower.
It's probably going to take it immediately.
Oh, look at that. Look at that.
What this does add, and it proves the point that I was just emphasizing, 90% is a massive stat, but what's your reward to this trade? Very little of the IB. You're capitalizing on, with where it closed right now, you'd be capitalizing on 15% maybe if you entered right away. That's when I'm making the point for negative risk reward. And I love that Ike always says this. It does not matter how you make money in the market. Your bank account still accepts it either way.
Does it?
Mine doesn't really like negative risk reward, but
it's so you know what I find out of all social media platforms, because I post on X and I post on Instagram and I post on YouTube quite consistently. The one platform that seems to have the biggest problem with negative risk to reward is Instagram. It's quite interesting.
It's taken over by ICT. Also, SPY is at 25% right now. I know you don't trade that.
Oh,
there you go. You got ticked in.
There we go. Got ticked in. So we'll see now.
Isn't it great when you get put into the position and immediately takes that little dive towards your TP.
Yeah.
Even though it's not very much, but you immediately see green.
Yeah. It is nice. It's nice. Hopefully, we don't have to sit through too much down here.
Hopefully, Tuesdays play nice today.
To be fair, they have for me.
Yeah.
Recently. Yeah, I think I haven't lost on a Tuesday. Oh, so go on.
For the high forming first on a Tuesday right now, it's close to 50-50. Today, I don't think that's going to be the case because the range is enormous for both SPY and Qs. I think it's probably going to, I mean, you're at halfway to full TP right now.
Yeah.
The most recent Tuesdays we've been having, the smaller ranges have been rough.
Yeah. This is a monster of a range though today.
430 points.
Yeah, 405.
Yep.
I would love to say I calculated that all in my head very quickly, but it's my wonderful indicator in the top right hand corner.
I feel like I might be a little dyslexic because I mixed the numbers up, but I get there in the end. I can do the math fine, but like I'll read 29. Either my brain's moving too quick for my mouth to catch up to. I'll read the 29.65 and I'll add like 29.95 instead. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
I literally have no excuse. Like I teach maths as a day job, so it's like if my maths ain't good, then my kids in my class will be in big trouble.
So for everyone tuning into the stream or watching the stream, Dan is in short right now off the IB25. A little added confluence with the new IB by rejection sub-report. I'm going to steal the screen for a second here. You guys can go into, and if you want to get to the sub-report, the first thing you do is go into the initial balance breakout. This is the standard report that you come with on the initial balance. You go into customize, and that gives you your initial balance time frame by wick criteria, or you can do by candle close. That's what you were asking earlier, smooth operator. I just leave it by wick, and then from there you go into standard sub report, go down to by rejection. You can bookmark this and it will pop up in your bookmarks here on the right. Refine it down even further by going into customize report. And now in the bottom right where it says IB ending zone, you can customize it to 0 to 25, 25 to 50, 50 to 75, 75 to 100. For today's example, we are in 25%, 0 to 25% is where we close on the IB. Looks like you're almost at your full TP here as well.
Yeah.
So we have on a Tuesday, we've had 9 instances where the lows form first, 5 where the highs form first, and we've closed within that range. For the high forming first today, 1 out of 4 did not go and break the low. So we have a 80% chance, 80% stat, the price will go and break the low based on where we close within the IB today. Very significant data report.
Yeah. I love that though. I love the customizations there.
Yeah, I was very excited to see that one because I was talking about it with him. I was like, it doesn't seem like when we close, we've had one day where I've seen it happen, maybe. When we close within the top bracket, so we had it happen last Wednesday. We closed the IB at 75%, even though, I'm going to steal the screen back for a second. You're going to go hit full TP anyway, so.
We'll see.
For Wednesday last week, IB was set bearish, but we closed at like 80%. That was the day that I think we had the conversation. So last Wednesday. Doesn't mean that you're going to go and take the trade and you enter short right at 10:30. And this is what I was trying to emphasize with the risk reward gurus out there. This is not a normal trade. This is not something that's going to hit the same likelihood as having a 1-to-1 or negative risk reward. So entering a trade and expecting an 8.8 risk reward, the win rate does not carry over with that. It doesn't translate. So I asked for him to add a closing parameter, And if we go and refine this to say, let's say the IB closed within 75 to 100%, you can see how drastically that decreases the win rate. So if the IB low form first, you have a 100% chance. It's only been 1 out of 1 on a Tuesday, but it's saying that if you close within that zone, within that level of the IB, it's not likely that it's going to win. It's very unlikely that the IB is going to come all the way back down and go and take the correct level that you're looking for. So I'm very happy to see that sub-report in there. And the next one that we're working on, I don't know how many days you've seen this happen. We had this happen again last week as well. Might have been 2 weeks ago, if I can find it. Right here. So Thursday, if I go and jump to this, go into replay mode. The next parameter that we're trying to work on is what happens when the IB barely misses full TP and you have a reversal coming after it. So last time this happened was April 30th. Somewhat similar to what's going on today with SPY, where we missed the full TP just now by like 20 cents, 30 cents. You miss your full TP and then you have a reversal on the 5-minute time frame, and this is what happens. You go and take the opposing direction of the IB. So I'm trying to see if we can avoid losses like that. I don't know if I took a loss. I think I moved my stop to break even that day and got stopped at break even. I don't remember completely, but just trying to eliminate some losses when you directionally move to the IB low or IB high, miss it by a few ticks, and then you reverse. And it happens very often during Globex. That's why I was trying to get that report in.
Do you want to know something funny though? When you were showing that,
What's that?
I think in my head, I knew you were showing a trade replay there, but I think in my head, I suddenly thought it was the live market. And then the big, huge candle came like that. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it did look very similar today. That's funny. It's happened to me quite a few times where price has broken incorrectly like that.
Mm.
I might take the entry.
We're back at the IB 25 now at the moment.
It's a 100-point trade from 25% of the IB. Wow. I mean, I knew it was 400 points for the range, but 100-point trade, $200 in one micro.
Yeah, this is one micro. Yeah,
It's
this is
insane.
That's crazy. Hopefully, we don't have a typical Tuesday here where it teases me and then reverses on me. We'll see. We'll see. You still can't argue with the. I'm sitting here so comfortable though because of that edgeful stat. That's
The
like
new one?
it's such. Yeah, the new one. Yeah, that's like so
Sure,
good. Like I can sit here happy all day, you know, with that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's 1 out of 5 is your odds for that's for the past 6 months. If we refine it to the year, you're looking at 1 out of 14 days not taking the correct level. 1 out of 12, sorry. So that means one of those days thrown in was a no break. But, I mean, 85% that you go and break the low right now.
Yeah.
Very comfortable
Yeah,
stat. I'm a little spooked to trade it because I do every time that I take it early, it usually goes to 50% of the IB.
Yeah.
Trump is talking right now. Be careful. That sounds about right. Anytime that I take it early, I get screwed on the position. It goes to 50% of the IB. I miss half my reward on the trade.
Yeah. I suppose for you though, you're so used to taking the IB50. Like the IB50 is just like natural to you. It just feels right. It's like a glove that just fits, right? Because you take it so much. So to take the IB25, which probably feels riskier to some extent because are you playing that as negative risk to reward IB25, or are you like?
I try putting it at 1-to-1 still. I try putting the stop loss at the midpoint. I wouldn't mind taking the trade on SPY right now. SPY's a lot weaker.
Yeah.
QQQ is a little bit stronger today. It's also a lot less of a risk. So it's a trade you're going to take for 13 points on SPY right now, as opposed to If I entered on Qs, you're risking $200 on one micro.
I like where my VWAP is now though for this trade.
Yeah, it's coming down nicely.
Yeah, it's coming down nicely. So, if we get a close above that VWAP, I'll cut it and just accept that, which is funny because it's kind of your entry, isn't it? I suppose the IB50.
Yeah, it's the hardest part I have about this trading strategy is waiting for that level to hit.
Yeah.
Now, the other addition that I did add in, and this isn't as beneficial as I would have liked, it's more so mental capital that I save on this one. If the entry is after 11 o'clock, I don't take the trade. So for you, this entry would be, what time is it for you right now? Like 6:42.
New York time.
Yeah.
New York time, it's
10:42 right now, but what time is it in the day for you where you are?
Oh, in the day for me. Oh, it's 20 to 7 in the evening.
So 6:40.
Yeah.
You probably don't want to take a trade, and this is why I don't take it after 11. If you take it after 7 o'clock for you, this happened Friday. It was a really good example on stream. It still hit full TP, so it was a good trade, but you entered the trade at 10:45. You didn't get out until 1:30. So that's 3.5 hours you're holding the trade. It was Friday last week.
Last Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, I was in that trade.
You would have got in at like 10:15, maybe 10:20.
Yeah, 10:25. I think I got in on or something like that, and I was in it for like 45 minutes, something like that. And then because for me, it's I want to be off the desk by 7 p.m. my time. Because it's late in the evening for me. So, I it's my hard rule as well. I don't enter a trade after 11 a.m. New York time. So because for me, that's 7 p.m. my time. When the clocks change, that's 8 o'clock my time. So, it's one of those.
I'm going to try on SPY. If it bounces up a little bit more. Try it with 2.
Hey, but come on though. If you lose, you just throw the responsibility at me. All right. So you got no responsibility.
Yeah, I got lower risk on this too. It's 12 points on 2 micros. I'll put the stop loss at. I'll do 1-to-1. I'll put the stop loss at 12 points as well. So 2 MES. Okay. SPY I like a lot better because it's a lot weaker.
Yeah. Someone asked me before, do you only trade if NQ, NES kind of do the same thing in the IB? Most of the time. Unless there is some strong edgeful data to tell me that it's going to go in one direction. Like last week, I had like an inside bar report level, previous session high, and the IB high, which was above. I think that was against the ES on the day, so I took it anyway because the data was really strong above. Yep. So I will potentially take a diverged trade as it is, but more often than not, I like to see them in alignment. Same as using.
Yeah, I always need to see them lined up.
Yeah.
Are you guys using the same risk the past evals? I size up a little bit more because I can now, and you have the ability to, when you start getting payouts, I think. If you're starting off trading, there's so many accounts that have one-time payouts or one-time payments now that there's no reason to go and size up on evals. Definitely don't do the learning phase. I think the best thing you can do is trade. I'm getting back to the point here, I promise. I think the best thing you can do is trade the cheapest prop firm you can. So like a 25K Lucid account or a 25K growth account, because you're spending $50 and you get the account forever. So that $50 fee is, you can paper trade the account even after you blow it too. So you can make an agreement with Lucid and say, hey, can you leave the account open after I blow it so I can trade on it? I don't care if I pass. Top Step has the same ability too. If you go on Project X, you buy a Top Step account. If you blow the account, you still have eligibility to trade it. It just says 50K ineligible, 25K ineligible. I don't think they have 25Ks, but the point that I'm trying to make there. Also, I am almost at full TP right now, 4 points away.
Where's your TP? Where's your IB low? Yeah.
IB low is at 7356. I got in right at the 25%. Taking a little note from Andre's book with trading the weaker asset. So there is our, I should really just add the 25%, but the 50% looks so clean. 25%, I got in actually a point above it, so my risk reward is a little tiny bit better. And
you're going to get it
full
before
TP.
me.
There we go. Full TP hit. I did my math a little bit wrong there. I should have gone in with, it was only 8 points, not 12. No, that was 12, right? Am I tripping? 68 minus 56 is 12. What am I saying?
Yes.
So I could have gone in with one more MES. And that recovers most of my loss from yesterday. I ended the day down 180 yesterday.
Nice trade though, mate.
Thank
really
you.
Nice.
Thank you. Yours is coming in right here too. Don't you worry.
Yeah, it should have the momentum to get over.
For anyone wondering why I took it on ES, it was a little tiny bit weaker. But on ES with days like this, I get a little scared risking that much. I know you're comfortable with it because I have a 25-0 model.
Yeah.
Where do I put my stop loss if I enter early and then it does end up going and hitting the IB50? That's what I get spooked by. With how large of a range it is. So you enter at IB25, if you put a 1-to-1 stop, then not only did you just take a loss, but you also risked not getting your better entry at the IB50. And now you're going to get into a second trade. I'm talking about myself, by the way, not you.
Yeah.
I'm going to get into a second trade at where my initial entry criteria is, which is the IB50. And now my risk is not only going to be, if I trade one micro, it's going to be $400 because we have a 400-point range today, but I'm also already going to be down 200. Always cover this point as well. For trading MES and M&Q, they typically do the same thing. Very rarely do they diverge. When they do diverge, we just don't trade it. You can manipulate your risk reward on MES to M&Q. So if M&Q, for today's instance, you don't want to risk 200, you're trading a 25K account, you can't afford to risk one micro on M&Q at the IB25, you can go and take one MES, or what I just did, 2 MES. So my risk reward there was $120. Ended up hitting full TP, so I made 120. Which I did my math a little bit wrong. I thought it was going to be more than $60 per micro. I don't know why. For whatever reason, I thought it was going to be 200 for the risk reward. 240 is typically what I like to trade on a 50K for a risk reward.
Okay, you there, Mr. 50K now.
I know. I got the 50Ks passed too.
Yeah, good job.
If I go into Lucid now, start trading, they should be paused down here in the bottom left. They're not there. Never mind. This is the account that was glitched out, by the way. The one that you can steal the screen back for a second. This is the account that I was trading on stream with I took a gold contract. And unfortunately, when I hit the stop loss, it said the account was lost, and I blew it. And then I got it back like 4 hours later, and it was in the bin. Nothing to do with the account. And now, even though it's blown, it's still available for me to trade. Like, I can go on here and take a trade, and it will manipulate up and down. I'm not going to because I think it might influence Lucid a little bit. Also, if you go into, can you see the full stream? Like you can remove and add to stage on StreamYard.
Yeah, I can see the stream.
Okay, go into the top of the screen where you see the little pencil in the top.
The little pencil at the top.
Yes, next to Facebook. You see the top right, it says end stream, or no?
No, I don't see that.
Okay, never mind then. I was going to, let's see if I can add it without the, I might be able to send you the link for it though. We can get your YouTube on here, so it streams to your YouTube as well. We'll do that at the end of the stream.
Okay.
For next week, so you can put your YouTube and X on here if you wanted to, and that will stream to those locations.
That's quite cool. That's quite cool. Someone asked, Dan, why do you place your TP further than IB low, high BI? My TP's not further, is it?
It is, yeah.
My TP today is on the IB low. Yeah, definitely on the IB low. I promise you.
The green, the long short position is what he's talking about, I think.
That's confusing people. Okay, tell you what. There you go. We'll place it
much better.
There we go. Super clear now, huh? Super clear. Look at this. Look at this tease, huh? Absolute tease.
That's what I want to work on. That's why I want to get a data report to work on. Also, I think part of the reason it just bounced there is same thing that we do when we hit previous day's low. And speaking of, congratulations on your inside bar trade yesterday. Awesome to see you trading those inside and outside days.
Who, me?
Yeah.
It wasn't yesterday. It was a trade replay from last week. Yeah, it was last Wednesday. Yeah, last Wednesday I took. Yeah, but it felt, I like I said, I think I wrote a comment on the stream last Wednesday. It felt dirty kind of doing it because it's just like, it's just something I'm not used to taking a trade, against the IB formation. But it was like, the stat was like 90% chance it was going to take previous session high, which was just above the IB high. And it was like 100% chance in the past 6 months on a Wednesday. It was like something stupid like that. It's like, I couldn't not take that. So yeah. I had a lot of people message me on social media afterwards going, but it's not the IB25. Well, why did you take that? You're not doing your strategy. You're changing things all of a sudden. And it's like,
I get the same thing.
Data. Yeah, it's like, because I think people want a strategy that they think is going to be the same, absolutely the same every single day. And, my system is pretty mechanic. It is systematic, but there is discretion in it as well. I'm using the edgeful data as first of all, and then I'm using my own intuition as well. That's where my real edge is, so yeah.
Question here in chat. Where do you place your stop loss? I believe that's for you. I put my stop loss, if I enter pretty much all the trades I take, I put a 1-to-1 stop loss on. That's for me.
Yeah, for me, I put it the IB75, as you can see on the screen there, just because I'm trading negative R and I use VWAP. So for me, if price closes, anywhere around about here, for me, that's just a sign of trade is not working, and it just allows me to cut the trade then for a smaller loss. Because that's how, if I'm taking a full 1 hour loss on every single trade I take, it's just the math is going to work against me eventually. Yeah. Well, it will work against me very quickly.
But I will also cut my trades earlier than actually running to full stop loss. So last night I did the same thing. 2 nights ago, actually. If we go over to M&Q, I took the Globex trade on Sunday night. It was a long bias. I entered right at 50% of the IB, and I ended up cutting my trade at like 29 to 140, 150. So I saved myself 40 points, and it still ended up being a $260 loss, but I saved myself by cutting the stop loss, because you can also kind of understand trading the IB long enough. You can see when it's not going to break. I typically like to see it stay above the midpoint, and I think for you it would probably be below the midpoint or below VWAP. If it ends up pivoting and you have a candle close underneath, especially on the 15-minute time frame, it usually does not like to reverse and go back to full TP. Yeah. Another question here. Which prop firm could you recommend? I had temporary success with Top Step before the whole platform crashed, and I tried Tradeify, but fees are ridiculous on placing trades. I do agree with that. Tradeify, I like Tradeify and Lucid. Those are my top two. Tradeify has actual live market fees. They actually double it for whatever reason. I don't know why. Lucid is by far the most beginner friendly, I believe. for Lucid accounts, there's $1 fees on micros, and I think it's $2 fees on minis. So if you go and trade, and you can see it on, I don't know if I'll have access to it anymore because I don't have the funded accounts. I have a screenshot from it a long while ago, but if you're trading one micro on Lucid versus Tradeify, it's like $2.14 on Tradeify versus $1 flat on Lucid. Lucid also gives you a perfect, I know I'm kind of hyping them up right now. Lucid also gives you a perfect sim environment. So if you have your TP set or your stop loss set or your entry filled set at X level, it will fill at that even if it has a small little blip to that level. There's no slippage on those accounts either. And you see, Dan, this is why I want to get that stat added. So I missed your full TP by like 20, what is that? On Qs, it's 23 cents, so like 10
That
minutes.
is ugly. That's ugly. I'm looking at the candle on ES. That's a huge candle up after breaking the IB low there.
So this is the exact example that I want to cover. Very happy I traded on ES. Luckily.
Yeah, you've made a very good choice there.
And then this also goes along with the point that I was trying to make. Why I get spooked on days like this when the range is so big trading at the 25. I still think the trade's going to be fine. I think the range is too big that it's going to reverse all the way back up 400 points unless Trump says something.
Yeah.
But for these ranges, it's very difficult to go and read. Like if I enter early and I miss my opportune entry, I don't really want to take the trade again. Could hit the IB50 today. I wouldn't take the trade again on M and Q because SPY already broke the level, so there's no additional draw there. That's another rule that I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to steal the screen back for a second. When you go and break, we had the same thing happen 2 days in a row. Not for the IB, but for inside days. SPY hit yesterday, going to replay mode. So my target into yesterday's open was the inside bar low or high. We hit the low first into open. I had no bias because we were right smack dab in the middle. That was our inside bar stat for yesterday. First candle, first 15-minute opening candle, it goes right to it. And then as soon as you take it, you have a crazy bounce off that level because it's a very strong level to hit. And unfortunately, that also carries Qs with it. So QQQ yesterday, we did the same exact thing. We did not hit the draw at previous day's low. But once we hit previous day's low in SPY, we lost that validation to the downside or that additional confluence, and it shot up like crazy. And it still ended up getting that previous day's low. It's just going to take longer. So I think the same thing, we did the same exact thing today too. We hit previous day's low in SPY. If I exit replay mode here, we hit previous day's low at 9:45, 10 o'clock. So that's at 2:45 previous day's low. We hit it and had a $2 bounce. QQQ had a 100.1 minute candle. So I think it's still going to go and take the low. It's just going to take a little bit longer. It's getting a relief bounce because SPY just hit a significant support level.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised on NQ if it comes and engages with that New York view up now. I think it'll touch there. And then that'll be crucial then for me in terms of how it responds there. If it breaks through strongly, sign maybe it could just chop around in this range for the entire session, or it could just slowly grind higher.
Absolutely.
For a very rare day.
It's also
but
pretty
the
difficult.
V up for me is crucial.
It's a difficult read to get when you don't really want to trade. You don't want to be in the trade for like 7 hours, 6 hours, because this could be one that takes, and obviously you're going to be going to bed here soon. Maybe not that early, but you're probably going to bed at like 9 o'clock your time, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I go to bed at 9. So if I don't want to, be tired and hold the trade and force myself to stay up, but I also don't want to be going to bed and having that trade in the back of my mind.
No.
So like right now,
No.
it's still going to break the low. I have high hopes that it goes and breaks the low because of that closure. It closed between 0 and 25%. It just lost a little validation from SPY. Right now, we don't have SPY lining up with it, so that's one rule hit for me. But it's also after 11 o'clock, so I wouldn't go and take this short on NQ. Not saying the short's bad at all. I just don't want to be holding the trade for 3 hours. Also, for Evelina, if you're going to get the Lucid account, this is for anyone else in here as well. Code Zinc for Lucid and TradeFi. Do you have a code for them, Dan?
No.
No. Tempting 50% to short. Or, like Dan said earlier, it could just be another tease on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
If we get out of that stat Tuesdays for the IB short, when the high forms first, it's just not a very good. Over the past year, it's fine, but the past 6 months, it's been rough.
It's one of those though where, you know, it's coming towards the VWAP, it's getting close to an invalidation level, and that's where you've got to judge now how you're feeling at this point. And for me, like, I feel fairly comfortable because for me, it's like I have to take that trade. That's my trade when we've got so many candles below the VWAP. You know, the IB highest one first, IB low second. We get the entry, the IB 25. That is my trade. ES in alignment, all good, you know. And also as well, put on top of that, the edgeful stat that you said before, that's a really strong stat as well.
Yep.
So it's one of those where if this ends up being a loser today, I'll walk away from it and go, I'm okay with that loss. And I think for me these days, with any loss I take, I just want to feel like that. While with yesterday, if I took yesterday's more choppy sort of price action and I lost that, I wouldn't be able to sit with that as well. Do you know what I mean? I think you got to make sure any trade you take, if you're going to take the loss, you want to be happy with it. Not happy with it. No one's going to be happy. No one's ever happy with the loss, but you want to feel comfortable with it. And you want to feel like, you know, you would take that again tomorrow or you take it again next week, you know?
Yep. I agree completely. Mental capital is a huge thing too. For
sure. And it carries. It carries into the next session tomorrow, and it carries. You know, you've got to protect it. You know, I saw something.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say I saw something the other day, which is quite interesting. Can't remember his name. He's a well-known prop trader, and they did an interview with him, and they asked him, you know, about psychology and stuff, and he said, at the end of every trading session he has, his wife never knows if he wins or loses. He'll get off the desk and his wife has no idea whether he wins or loses. Because after every trading session, he is just like that. You know what I mean? He's just like, he's not super sad when he's lost. He's not super happy when he's won. He's just like that. Do you know what I mean?
Could be me. I go and tell my wife how I did every day.
Yeah, well, to be fair, my wife's over here, so she's always keeping an eye on me anyway. So it's one of those where I don't think I could do the same, but it was quite interesting though. It's just like, you know, I'm not saying everybody needs to aspire to do that, but it's just a case of you know, if you're after every single loss feeling absolutely devastated, and after every win you're planning your resignation letter to quit your job and you know, go full time in Dubai, you know, I think you need to just level it out a little bit, you know. So
yeah, absolutely. I had a call I was on prop firm match with teammate Alex, and we had a great discussion for this. He goes into, unfortunately, his Mondays, and he says that he typically blows his accounts on Mondays. He trades very poorly on Mondays, and I said, why do you think that is? And he showed me his Friday stats, and he's carrying the tilt. If he has a bad Friday, he carries the tilt all the way over the weekend into Monday. So last Friday, for instance, he's doing really well because he diversifies his accounts at the very least, but he was about to get a payout. He was 1 day away from a payout. So Friday would have been it for his Tradify accounts. I think he would have gotten a 10K payout from those. and he hit his DLL on those accounts. So 4,500 is what he ended up losing on Friday. And on the stream, he wasn't upset about talking about this at all, which is a good thing. It means that he's showing growth with it too, which is one of the best things you can do. You cannot be lying to yourself and saying that it's better than it is, because then you're not going to have any growth whatsoever. But what he was covering was that he hitting that daily loss limit not only messed his other accounts up for the day, but it also caused him to carry the tilt from those trades over the weekend. So he's fine over the weekend. He doesn't carry the tilt visibly, I'm sure. Like, he's not in a mopey mood. Also, look at that rejection. Previous day's low rejection, VWAP rejection.
Yeah, beautiful. We'll see.
He carries that tilt for the entire weekend, and that's why it carries over to his Monday trades. So saving your mental capital, and I make this point every time I have a stream on a Friday, do not be the type of person that goes into a Friday and blows a good week like that. And Fridays are, you laughed a little bit of this last time I said it, Fridays are the worst days for retail traders to trade. It's the best days for prop firms is when they make their most amount of money.
Yeah. And the funny thing is,
go ahead. Sorry.
The funny thing is, though, is that you're saying this right now. And I remember listening to traders on stream say this sort of advice and stuff, but you end up going to do it anyway. And unfortunately, it's like for anyone listening, they may have to go and do it anyway. You have to sort of feel the burn something. Hopefully not. Hopefully you can take the advice and not blow your account on Friday. But we've all been there, haven't we? You know, where on a Friday, you know, you're wanting to get back the losses from earlier in the week, or you want to end the week with your payouts so you can post in, go into the weekend feeling super high, and then you just push too hard and end up blowing it. And we've all been there and stuff. So it comes as no surprise with the stats that you obviously have, you know, access to with the props and stuff. It's so interesting because it's all psychology, isn't it? It's all psychology. It's all to do with the mind. Anyone who says that psychology is not important in trading, it's crazy because it's clear, isn't it?
Man, hearing that makes me feel better about my Monday. Pipti said, I've been tilting my prop accounts lately, but I've been respecting my personal account more and crushing it there. The psychology is weird. That's also why I made the point that you don't want to carry over what you're doing. You don't want to start on a live account because you're going to make the mistakes with thousands and thousands of dollars of your own money. Hey guys, is it easy connecting the algo to TradeVate prop account that allows algo? Yes, that's very easy. You can go directly onto edgeful. I'll bring up my screen again. You go right onto edgeful and you can click on algo analyze. You can click on any of the algo settings and it brings you through your start here in the top left. So you can click your start here. It shows you what to do, add the orb algo to your chart, learn how the orb algo works. These are all videos that come with edgeful. It tells you exactly what to do. Open Trading View gives you a link to Open Trading View, and then it gives you a link to log in once you get to the other steps. And then you have your dashboard on here. You can create your algo. You can add it to your broker. You can get all the stats for how your algo is doing, optimize the algo, everything you want to do. So it is very easy. And the best part is it's step-by-step link, so there's not really much of a way you can go and mess it up.
All right, how we react to VWAP here is important for me now. It's one of those where the biggest kick in the teeth, I was going to get one, is it closes around about here and then just goes lower and carries out that data point. That's where it doesn't happen very often to me, but because of my system and the way it is, it can happen, you know. But for me, it's one trade a day. Whatever happens here, I'm done. I'll take whatever comes my way, swallow it, come back tomorrow.
Said, hey Zinc, how do you risk management with your trades? Please give some examples. I always go to this risk calculator on here. I like to risk about 12 to 16% per trade I take. So my personal risk is usually 240 on a 50K. The beautiful part with this is that any lower than that, look at what it does to the stats. Even if you have a 40% win rate, it's very unlikely you go and blow the account. So I like to risk, if I don't want to risk as much on one account, or let's say I don't want to risk, and this is exactly what I did today. I didn't really want to risk 200 on one micro because there's no wiggle room. Trading one micro, you either hit your stop loss or you hit your TP. That's when I go over to MES. MES's range today was, MES is always about half the risk of M and Q. So if you want to, in today's example, it was actually a quarter of a risk because MES didn't have that crazy wick up that M and Q did. So it was a quarter of the risk today. If you don't want to risk 200, if you don't even want to risk 100, you can go and trade one MES contract. Took the IB25 on MES, nice to close green. Ooh, shout out to Andre for that one because I traded the weaker asset, the weaker pair. I typically wouldn't.
Yeah.
But in this case,
something I need to look into. It's one of those where I just
regardless. Going regardless. I don't typically look at which one's weaker and which one's stronger. But he's gotten me onto that. I think the exact quote he says, if people are already selling, they're probably going to keep selling on that one.
Yeah.
So don't go and inverse it.
Chris, what made you pick the IB25? For me, picking the IB25, just answering that last question, that's just my strategy for me. I enter at the 25% retracement level. That's just the entry level that feels natural to me. I've done it so many times now. I would be like Zinc feels about the IB25. I feel like that about the IB50. It feels weird for me entering at the IB50. So it just feels natural for me now. You know,
the way that this is looking right now, this is probably gonna. I know this could immediately go and break the low. It could immediately go and break the high, but this looks like it's gonna end up being a 2.5 hour trade. Yeah. I would, especially because it's moving up like this after 11 o'clock. This looks like, oh my gosh, it's 11:15. What are we doing?
You having too much fun?
I didn't even notice it was that late. You guys get another 15 minutes today for free. Sorry about that, Dan.
That's all right. I lost track of time as well, to be fair.
I had no idea it was that late. This looks to me like one that's going to end up breaking at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be slow.
I cannot believe we just stayed on for another 15 minutes without even noticing. Did you notice at the time?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Holy
I'm having too much fun. Too much fun.
What did you use to determine weakness? Nothing complex. SPY was weaker, and just by you can go and look at the chart, zoom out. QQQ had that 200-point wick up. SPY didn't. SPY didn't even make a new high in that first 15-minute candle, so that was how the low was established. If you want to take a look at how the IB works, Dan and myself both have some videos on it. What's your YouTube link?
There we go. I'll put it in now. Dan Cook Trades. Yeah, at Dan Cook Trades, yeah.
So you guys can go onto his YouTube, or you can go onto mine, which is already live right now too. So those are our two YouTubes. You guys can go on there, watch either one of the videos. But that will do it for the stream today. Any closing remarks, Dan? Anything you want to say about the IB for today?
No, it's just one of those where it's just such a big range, isn't it? So there's always a chance that if the IB low is not going to be taken here, it's just going to chop around. I'm personally going to keep an eye on this for a little bit, but eventually I'm not going to sit at the desk all day. I'm certainly not going to sit at the desk for 3 hours watching this. I've got life, so I will probably either cut this soon, looking at the way it's going at the moment, or just cut it for a break even. Maybe we'll see. Depends how much it moves. Tuesdays for me, teasing me again, huh?
Tuesday's teasing.
Tuesday tease, yeah.
Tuesday tease. All right, guys, that will do it for today. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tomorrow with Andre and James.
See you guys.
maybe Thursday this week too. See ya.